Hello, I'm Laurence Marks, one half of the writing team of Marks and Gran, who created and wrote many of Goodnight Sweetheart, which ran from, I think, 1993 to 2000. And then it stopped. And what didn't stop, actually, was the inquiry about doing more and more and more series. But we couldn't do more and more and more series. And so we put it to bed until the BBC asked us if we would do a one off special in, I think it was 2016, finding out where Gary Sparrow, Phoebe Sparrow, Yvonne, his wife, indeed, and Ron and PC Deadman were, because in our time it would be 1962, because we finished in 1945 and it was 17 years on. Anyway, let me not confuse it with mathematics. I'm really speaking to you today to thank everyone that's contributed towards the book that we are intending to write, Good Night, Sweetheart, Many Happy Returns. But unfortunately, we can't write it unless you contribute. And we are dependent on you in much the same way that Gary Sparrow was dependent on the portal opening every time he wanted to go back to the Second World War. There's nothing we can do if you don't help us, and that's really what I'm asking you to do. Um, it will be a great adventure because Maurice and I had worked out just how we would develop the series should the BBC have said to us in 2016, would you do five more? Whether we would have chosen to do it or not, I'm not sure. But what we have chosen to do is write the novelisation of what would have been on the screen. And as you know all the characters so well, reading the book is going to be a delight. And indeed, writing the book is going to be a delight because, as with writing the scripts, you're never quite sure what happens or that what you've set out to do actually is what happens when you try and do it. We know where Gary will be in 1962, and we know that the Beatles are just around the corner and that he'll have to explain away to everyone why they are singing his songs, the songs they all sang down the air raid shelter during the war. I am the walrus, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, and I want to hold your hand. Also, of course, he's going to be really up shit creek when Ian Fleming, who's one of his novels is just about to be made into the first James Bond film, starts investigating as to what Gary Sparrow really did during the war. He always passed himself off in the Royal Oak as a spy, even if he didn't use the words a spy. And now Ian Fleming is going to find out not only whether Gary Sparrow was a spy, but if he was, who was he spying for? And that's going to land Gary in as much trouble as having been the composer of I Am the Walrus. There's lots to do. We can't do it without you. Um, I'm pleased to be able to say that we are just shy of the halfway financial target halfway through the time period that has been set. So now we need to pick up the second half of that money. And it's really down to you. If I were not the author of Goodnight Sweetheart, I would have been a devoted fan. And were I a devoted fan, I would have definitely contributed to the authors writing a book because I would have wanted to know what happened as much as probably they did or do, because Maurice and I are in for many, many surprises, I know, as is Gary Sparrow, and are you, the readers of the book. So I just ask you not to lose the opportunity for us to write what would have been Series 7 because you had forgotten to contribute. So just kindly do so, and then Series 7 will not be the mystery that everyone asks us about when they send us at least 20 emails a week from all over the world when they and said, Whatever happened to Gary Sparrow? Contribute and then you'll find out. Bye bye.